Welcome. We're on the red couch with Katrine Karley, Master Practitioner of Feng Shui. Feng Shui is the ancient Chinese art of placement that fosters well-being, harmony, and prosperity. Katrine consults in planning, building, and interior design of homes, retail, and office spaces, parks, and schools. Having studied with one of the world's renowned authorities on Feng Shui, Master Lin Yun, Katrine has conducted Feng Shui consultations throughout the United States, as well as internationally, including China, Mexico, Turkey, France, and Poland. Katrine believes that Feng Shui is the expression of our deepest longing to dwell in peace and beauty. In both her business and her personal life, Katrine asserts that there is always a fix. Katrine, I am so thrilled to have you on the red couch.
And I am thrilled to be here.
How did you get started with Feng Shui?
You know, everybody has something in their life that comes down the road and kind of shakes you up a little bit. And I had had a past life, we'll call it, of beauty, always working with women and things. And I came to a part in my life that was really devastating. And all of a sudden, I said, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I've had so much fun, you know. But when I came across, I moved to Carmel, California, in the late 80s. And then I stumbled upon something that said Feng Shui, and I'm going, what is Feng Shui?
Yeah.
Well, I had heard the word, but I really didn't know what it was. So off I go to the little coffee shop and hear a presentation on Feng Shui. And I thought, wow, did that ever make sense? And with all my talents that I've been fortunate enough to have as gifts, I said, you know, I'm going to look into this. So I did. And I really enjoyed what I was, you know, practicing and just experimenting with. And then I decided, well, if I'm really going to do this, you got to go to the top. Always. So I made my way to Master Lin Yun that's been deceased now for 2 years. And he started Feng Shui when he was about 6 years old in China.
Wow.
And he had a great teacher.
So Feng Shui is how many thousands of years old, right? And it's coming back now. It's in full swing. It's so popular.
East to west, you know, we're opening the doors again. And Feng Shui has been around for 3,000 to 5,000 years old. So we don't know exactly the date, but, you know, the great emperors and all of them used to use it in ancient China. And I think the reason it made its way back into the United States is because we want peace and we want harmony. And we don't want greed anymore. And that's where Feng Shui was 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, I think. So we all can have Feng Shui homes and build them like we would like to.
From the ground up, you mean?
From the ground up, which
Right.
I have done.
Yes.
You know, from the ground up. But, you know, everybody can't do that. So I said, Feng Shui is really a way that anybody, regardless if it's a one room, a tent, a boat, it doesn't matter. You know, you can incorporate Feng Shui into your life. Because once you have Feng Shui, you're going to change.
So let's say I came to you,
Yes.
and I just had a little apartment that I wanted better health. How would you start that process?
Well, speaking of health, I always look at the health area, regardless of what, you know, because when I go in a home, the center area of your home represents health. And of course, there's a lot of other things that represent health also, but according to the school that I went to, which is the Bagua school and has the 8-sided trigrams, I look at the health area, and if there's really some pointed arrows or jagged spikes coming out, you know, that's not good, you know. And so I talk about that and ask them about their health.
So the health is in the center of the room.
Yes.
And the bagua is like a little
Stop sign.
Yeah.
Only 8 sides.
Right, a stop sign. That's a good way. It's like a little map. And
Yeah.
you said even children can use it.
Oh, yes.
It's
I've
so
taught
simple.
children. Yeah, it's fun.
And each corner represents a different area
Yes.
of your life.
Yes, it does.
Can you name the areas?
Well, at the very beginning, you know, it's career. And let's just say that you want, you know, your career to get more prosperous. So we want your door, which is the mouth of Qi, to be a nice color to invite the universe and the energies all in. Now to your left, we'll go to the stop sign, as we call it. the bagua, is knowledge. So that's where you're really going to put books and things that you want to learn, and even a study is nice. Then we go up on the side, and that represents family. And family, of course, is one of the most important things that we have in Feng Shui. Also, because we want it all, really. And then up in the left-hand corner is the wealth area. So the wealth area is like, that's what I get the most calls for, wealth and relationships. But, you know, you got to have wealth, that's for sure, in today's world.
So is it best not to have your toilet in the wealth
We don't
area
want
so you don't flush down your
We don't want a
riches?
toilet. Or kitty litter. That's not good.
No.
So you try your best to put something that's like a running water, like a fountain or something like that, that represents the flow. You want that flow of chi to continue to bring you wealth. And so this is where you really focus that area if you're having a difficult time. Then you move on to the fame area at the very top. And fame is not only being famous like a movie star, or, you know, it can be, I want recognition in my life.
Yeah.
From my family, from my students, or whatever it is. So my teacher told me, I said, well, what do you do about that? You know, and he said, get a photograph of yourself and make it as big as possible. And I said, oh no, I can't do that. Hung it on the wall, and he said, every time you look at it, he said, you'll know that energy is coming to you. And he said, why do you think all the great women always had a portrait painted
Of themselves.
of themselves?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it's just being in the right place, the position of things in your home.
Right.
So, but if it was in an area that was in the bathroom, I don't think that'd be too good.
No.
So we move on to what is the furthest right side of the bagua, and that is marriage, relationship, anything that has to do with a relationship. It has to be with business relationships, and it can be anything. So this is where you put a lot of power. It's known for the mother area also, and so we pay close attention to every area. Then we move down in that area, the middle area I call it, on the right side of the bagua, and that's creativity and children. So you're going to find yourself wanting to hang out in that area in your house, you know, and you can be very playful. You can just whatever you want to do in there. So, and the children will always come there too, if you have children. And then you move down, and that's called benefactors. And that's helpful people. So you look at it and say, helpful people. Who are the most important people that I've had, that I've learned from, or that I look to? So, and also you can add your spirituality there. So that's another very important area. I think they're all important, of course.
Right.
And then you go right into the center of the bagua, in the middle of the home, and that is the health area.
So you can take this map, this bagua, and you can put it on, lay it on the diagram of your entire home, and then on each room of your house.
Exactly. It's like a little compass, only it's very simple, because we don't have to learn so much, because the world is shifting all the time, and we don't want to go back and change it again unless it needs to be reinforced. So the bagua is, my teacher designed it and brought it into the United States. And I find it's the best tool of all. It's a Tibetan Buddhist background, but it works. And it's worked every time for me.